Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, project you live as a champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. SmackDown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
Wrestling with Savage begins now.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Wrestling with Savage. Tonight, we're here to talk about none other than AEW Dynamite. We'll get that music playing again because that's the music to my favorite video game of all time, which is No Mercy. Fight Forever is kind of like No Mercy, and it was cool to see Fight Forever heavily featured on tonight's episode of Dynamite. We'll get into that. We'll talk about it later. But first and foremost, I want to just give a moment, and I'll even shut the music off for this because this is Mantor. He was famous in WWF for his role as Mantor, and he passed away, unfortunately. A good friend of Eric Sims and a good friend of the Savage Kingdom family. So my condolences to his entire family. May he rest in peace. If you don't know him, if he's too old school for you, go look it up. Mid-90s WWF had a fun run, man. Had a lot of fans. Made a lot of memories. And that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to try to make some memories of our own, and we're going to get into AEW Dynamite. This was the main card. When you first look at this card, you wouldn't really be impressed, but tonight was actually a really good episode of Dynamite. But before we get into Dynamite, we're going to get into this, which is Wrestling with Heart, with Stanley Carr, who has just joined the studio. And we're going to get into him right now. And what's up? Welcome to Wrestling with Savage.
Yeah, good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I met you at, where was that, in Albany, upstate, Connecticut? I was all over the place on that trip. I was just following Marty Jannetty. So you kind of get lost when you're running around with Marty.
Well, we met each other at the Wrestling Classic in
Wrestling
Springfield,
Classic.
Massachusetts.
That's right, with DDP and Kurt Angle and... That's awesome.
Teddy
you came
Long.
up to me and you told me about your company, your podcast, and you have a lot of different things going on. I was checking you out, and I'm going to share it right now with the window over here so everybody can kind of see what's going on. Is that the right window? No, that's not the right window. But we're going to get the right window. I want to show everybody your stuff.
Yeah.
Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us
Sure.
this is all about, Wrestling with Heart, with
All right.
Stanley Carr.
All right, so my podcast is called Wrestling with Heart with Stanley Carr. It's a show. It's sort of an interview show where I talk with professional wrestlers, not only about their careers, but it's a podcast devoted to helping out in your community, serving in your community, wrestlers who have done stuff, like charity work or some act of community service, volunteering, just spreading positivity. I mean, that's kind of, I wanted to do something that was kind of, presented a different look on the business, a positive side of the business, as opposed to just looking at, doing review shows and talking about, the latest news in professional wrestling. I wanted to do something devoted to, the good side, a different look.
The bright side of the ring.
Yeah, that you don't really hear much about. I mean, there have been podcasts, episodes, and things that where people have talked about charity work and things like that, but never like a full-on series.
Yeah.
Because I've done my research, and I mean, there, like I said, maybe a few episodes here and there, but never really a true series. And I'm just kind of hoping to get this off the ground. Just trying to get my following up. I've got a Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. I just launched that last week. I'll look into like a TikTok or a Threads at some point soon. Just, my podcast is available on most, if not all, podcast platforms. I've had people on like Stevie Ray, Al Snow, Rip Rogers, who was like, one of the old school legends trainers with Ohio Valley Wrestling. Barbara Goodish, who's the widow of the late Frank Goodish. Bruiser Brody. I've got some guests coming up that people might recognize.
Do you have videos of all this too, or is it just audio?
It's video too.
Dude, they're not on your YouTube, right? Are you like holding on to that content, or are you going to be dropping that on YouTube, like the full video?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel.
I'm looking at YouTube right now. You drop everything on the YouTube?
Everything.
I see a lot of videos.
I don't have a live stream yet. I'm gonna work on that, but I've got like all my podcasts are on.
So you've been doing this for a minute. You started, it looks here, the channel in September 2022. So this is still fresh. You're coming up on your 1 year. And your main goal right now is to get live. You want to turn it into a live stream. Like, are you thinking weekly?
Well, I think pre-recording your interviews are good, and I think I want to continue to do that. If there's like a breaking story or some kind of thing where I can have people on that, like, oh, let's do this. I think the live streams would be good with like collaborators, like kind of something like what you and I are doing.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring one of my partners over here.
There.
This is Travis.
Hi,
he
Travis.
helps me co-host all these shows.
Love the idea. I think it's a great idea. I think that this business, they don't talk about that nearly enough.
No, absolutely not. They don't. You're both right about that. But when I started this show, it was just to try to give people quick results about Monday Night Raw, NXT, SmackDown, and then that transformed into like a talk show, and then that transformed into bringing on wrestlers, and then that transformed into me getting in a ring and taking bumps and trying to become a manager and doing interviews on a very serious level. Now, when you met Savage, you didn't meet Savage. You met that other guy, that normal guy. See, that guy's a loser. Savage, on the other hand, when the shades are on, the tie's on, cufflinks, the whole nine. When I go all out, I'm in another mode. Have you ever considered, I have two questions. How did you become a fan of wrestling? And have you ever thought about becoming a professional wrestler?
Oh. Well, unfortunately, I will probably say no to being a wrestler because I don't have the body yet, but hey, never say never. I absolutely would love to be involved with the wrestling business in some capacity. I'm actually working in the radio business right now. I've got a couple of radio shows I do, and want to build my brand with that. But I definitely want to do this podcast because I feel like this is something that really hasn't been done before. I've always been a fan of wrestling since I was maybe 5 years old. I went to my first WWE show when I was 9. Growing up in the Maryland area.
Who was the main event on that show?
It was Triple H. It took place in Frederick, Maryland. It was Triple H and he who shall not be named for the World Championship.
Okay.
And if you want to know who he who shall not be named is, I highly suggest you would look at the date. It was 2004. I believe it was July 18th, I want to say.
2004. I'm trying to think. Who the hell is it? I'd have to really think about that for a minute. Random house show. God only knows who they put in the ring with him. Because house shows get wild. I've been to some wild house shows. Some of the best matches I've seen are at house shows.
Yeah.
Low cut, low key.
Let me ask you this, because I just tried to look it up. Is his last name his wrestler name?
I believe it was his real name.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I know who it is.
Oh, who is it? Go ahead. Enlighten us.
I think it was Bill Goldberg, was it not?
Oh,
Nope.
Mr. Goldberg?
No.
Nope.
Well, the only other one I can think of would be Chris Benoit.
That was him.
Well, you can say that name. In the wrestling capacity, you can. In the earth capacity, some frown upon it. But, it is what it is. He still wrestled. I'm not going to delete
course.
his history from the business.
No.
At the end of the day, nobody knows the truth about what really happened because nobody was there.
The only two people that know the truth are him and God, so.
I don't know at this point. It's hard. I met the man before he passed away. And,
Really?
Yeah, I had a car dealership in Queens. And I had a Polaroid camera at the time, and after I took a picture of him, the camera broke, a little spark came out of the camera, and the true story of the picture, he was like faded out in the picture. He just had like I'm not going to say an evil vibe. Something off, something spooky, something not right. And, wasn't really that engaging with the fans, to be honest. He kind of wanted to get in, get out type of situation. And, that happened maybe a year later or whatever.
I mean,
That's one of the more devastating wrestling stories. If not maybe the most devastating wrestling story. Right up there with Owen Hart and you can go on and on, but
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to put one above y'all, and maybe it's because I'm the Texas boy here or whatever. But my mom even was watching it. She's like, "Are y'all gonna go watch that Von Erich, the new one that's gonna have Zac Efron about their life?" I'm like, if I can get in there and not cry every 5 seconds, yeah, because man, you talk about a family that just.
Stanley, are you a wrestling historian? Like, did you go back in time to look up some old matches and stuff like that, or are you just like from when you started watching?
I've always been a fan of the old school stuff. I mean, growing up, I actually am from Nashville, Tennessee, so I actually was friends with the late Len Rossi, who was a wrestler in the Tennessee territory. He had a health food store in a town called Brentwood, and I would visit there every so often. And he would wrestle, in Nashville and Memphis and Birmingham, Alabama, just all over the Mid-South. And he actually, back then, he was the first white wrestler to team up with a black African-American wrestler. His name was Bearcat Brown. And I believe how the story went, at that time, they weren't really putting, white, black tag teams together, but he was the first one. And they were successful.
That's
awesome. And, the rest is history. They were really good friends.
A lot of wrestling's changed so much over the years, and it's crazy to think when you go back in time and look at how wrestling, kind of used to be all over the place with the different territories and the way they would do things compared to today. Like things that they did then would be like,
no, like
it wouldn't fly.
Yeah. Oh no, like especially from like our childhoods and watching, storylines, in years past with the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era.
You could do a whole episode of This Wouldn't Fly Today, and it'd be nothing but New Jack. Every single thing that man did is one of those things. No way we get away with that.
Go find this guy on Instagram, Wrestling with Heart, and then you can get all his links too from there. Easy, probably. Follow Wrestling with Heart today. Do me that favor. And now that we've done all of that, we'll do it again and again and again, and I'll drop your links a few more times. I want to know, did you watch AEW tonight?
I did catch some AEW, yes. I've been watching the product, I want to say almost weekly for a while now. I started watching AEW when they first premiered a few years ago. I kind of dropped off a little bit, but I still kept up with it to a degree. But I started watching again. They got some really good talent over there. Incredible.
Absolutely incredible talent. Who's your favorite wrestler from AEW right now, male or female?
Oh, wow. Both? It's hard to say. I've got a lot of favorites.
MJ... You're in the building.
Yeah.
They all come out. Who are you screaming for the loudest?
MJF right away.
Okay. So MJF is your dude.
I like him. He's just a really good heel, phenomenal.
Yes, one of the best. We're going to cover him dramatically tonight. Really good stuff tonight from MJF and Adam Cole, continuing their storyline. How about WWE side of things? You got a favorite?
Roman Reigns, definitely one of the.
So you acknowledge the tribal chief.
I acknowledge the tribal chief, but I also like Seth Rollins. I like Cody Rhodes.
Nothing wrong. Best wrestler in the world, almost.
Women's side, I'd have to go with Becky Lynch.
All right.
Bianca
Let's open
Belair.
up tonight. Dynamite. All right. Opens up Wednesday night. You know what that means? It's time for the Ocho, the legend, the sex god, whatever you want to call him. Okay. Chris Jericho, at his age, competing on a very high level, hitting lion salts perfectly. I mean, he didn't hit the guy, but he did the flip from the fucking springboard. Perfect. Look at his age. The bumps he was taking during this match are uncalled for and unnecessary. And I love the vicious, ruthless aggression that he had during the whole match. I love that he threw the kid out and then did a taunt like it's a video game. I mean, look at this shit. Power bombs, catching power bombs, clotheslining the hell out of this guy, sending them to hell, and then, of course, letting Commando have his moment so he could show everyone in the world what he's capable of. These insane rope walking, moonsaults, lion salts, springboards, whatever you want to call it, man. The guy's out there. Look at this. Look at the shot, man. This is after he's running on one rope. Springboard bounce to another rope and then completing this maneuver on live television. Chris Jericho is Chris Jericho. And he's going to do what Chris Jericho does. He's going to make you tap out with that lion tamer. And he's going to get the win. Don Callis is going to come out. And the saga continues. What will happen here? Will Jericho join the dark side? And I'll go to you first, Stanley, since you're new to the show. Tell me, Chris Jericho, did you catch his segment tonight?
I did. I actually caught his segment last week that he did with Don Callis in the ring. It's a good cliffhanger, you know. Like, is he gonna tease? Is he gonna, turn heel again and join Don Callis? Or will he not? Because I think it's, it's something to kind of look forward to, something, something to kind of
What's
keep
your
your
take
eye
on
on.
that, guys? Do you think he's going to turn Travis?
Yeah, I think so. And because we've talked about this before, I think there's no reason we don't see Chris Jericho as world champion again at some point, and maybe Don Callis is going to be that little bit of viciousness, bring back that old Jericho, and just bring back what he needs to become world champion.
Listen, Don Callis right now is apex. He is the best manager in AEW. If he keeps this up for 10 years, he'll be up there with the Heymans of the world.
Oh, no doubt. No
but
doubt.
I could see this turning into a storyline of Jericho taking over AEW again, man. And everybody's going to idolize him because Don Callis didn't just say, oh, I want Chris Jericho. He called Chris Jericho the greatest of all time.
I definitely think Jericho's killing it in his role in AEW right now. Is like the veteran of the locker room. Is just kind of just almost like runs the place.
No, he might be right about that. Ricky thinks this is to get babyface Jericho, which could be the end result, but that's not happening for a minute.
I want to say something. You said, look at Jericho. He's hitting the lion salt. He didn't hit the guy.
He is.
You said you didn't hit the guy, but all that. He said taking some bumps that are unnecessary. Right. And I'm not disagreeing with you, but here's the thing. The difference between a bump like what Jericho did and what Sting did a couple weeks ago is Jericho understands his limitations, and he understands, yes, I can take this.
All right. See, this is Travis, everybody. Meet Travis. He's the guy who will bring Sting into a conversation for this match. Who cares about Sting right now? Jericho is a
I'm
beast.
saying Jericho is better because
rails,
he is able to understand this is my limitations. I need to not do things beyond this. That is the sign of a true great.
He definitely knows his limitations, but my point is that his limitations are still high.
Oh, absolutely.
He's doing crazy shit.
He is the greatest of all
this
time.
This is
There's
Jay.
no question.
Jay, welcome to the show. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, guys? How you doing, Stanley? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Part of the Savage Kingdom over here. So, Jay, did you catch the opening match? I thought it was a great match. I thought Jericho set a great pace.
Of course
he put the kid in his place. He did. What do you mean? Jericho did what he's supposed to do. He came out and beat the crap out of this kid.
I think first of all, when you do a video package before the match showing Commander doing an awesome move in March, you're setting up yourself for disaster. And that's what I saw exactly tonight live in Canada. I saw him do his walking tightrope, and he missed completely. That moonsault did not hit Jericho whatsoever. I thought that was very bad look. The code breaker was mistimed, guys.
The code breaker was. Yeah, I'll give you that.
50s. I'm not gonna doubt you. He was the GOAT, but let's face it.
It wasn't. Listen, it wasn't a 5-star match, but it was a solid job by Jericho because he still made Commando look good.
No. How did he make Commando look good tonight?
Because he did. What do you mean? Commando got his spots off. That shit he does off the top rope is crazy, man. He has good moves. I don't care if he made one mistake too.
Here's the thing.
The whole point of this whole match was to get this moment anyway, right? I mean, the match was filler. Let's be honest. The match wasn't the story. This is the story.
I would have had this segment for 10 minutes. I'd rather take this than the match.
Okay, I can understand that from your perspective, but Don Callis making good. Saying these guys have history.
Love that.
They have history. Look at the history.
This was good.
They're showing some continuity.
And I like this because it's real. It's
we're gonna get to this guy from that '70s show in a second.
I like that it's real. No phony storylines, no BS, no silly clown shit. Real shit.
Yes, that's why this is connecting. I
did like Jericho's little, clasping him on the shoulder and at the same time going, that was back when you had hair. That, just being that smarmy hill. But
we're going to get back to Jericho because we're going to get more of a Jericho opening the show and then still in the show later on doing what he does best at his age. Jungle Boy, Jack Perry over here. They're going to give us highlights of what's been happening the last few weeks. And here he is tonight. This time he refuses to get out of his car because it's an unsafe work environment. Hook would eventually get kind of near him, but he'd run away again, and then Hook would say the two words. I'm kind of shocked that we're getting these fucking parking lot. And Stanley, I don't know if you're used to cursing, but it's a late night show, so I curse sometimes here. So don't if I come on your show ever, I won't curse.
He's a New Yorker, don't worry about
it. But dude, why are we getting this 3 weeks in a row? Like the same exact.
They don't have anything else. You have a guy like Jungle Boy who is lackluster and a guy like Hook who is absolutely just garbage on the microphone. Like, what else are you going to do with them? They're doing all these parking lot things because they're like, this is the only thing we can do with them. This feud has gone nowhere, and the reason it's gone nowhere is because they from day one did not understand how to book this feud.
Stanley, what's your take on Hook, and do you like the job they've been doing with him over the last few years in general? And now because he finally is having the feud with Jack Perry, the tag team's not going to happen. What do you think is going to happen?
I haven't seen much of Hook and Jungle Boy. I know they were partners for a little bit. I know Hook is Taz's son, so I know he's been wrestling a bit. So I'm going to have to plead the fifth on that one. So I want to wait to see what happens next.
Are you interested in this storyline at all, or do you not give a shit? I want to know the truth.
Well, I mean, I'm interested. I just, I'm interested to see what anybody's doing, just want to make sure, as long as people get, TV time, they're on and they're doing their thing, that's all that matters.
No, that's not true. Because see, if you get TV time and it's not handled properly, you look like a clown. And then people don't buy your merch because they don't wear clown merch. Some people, not everybody. You see my point? Like, some wrestlers are very good. Some wrestlers are so talented, but they don't get booked the right way. And then they don't have the same career path as somebody else who did get booked the right way at the right time. Sometimes it's not always about the right booking. It's about the right time, the right place, the right moment, because wrestling is moments. Jay, do you think Hook and Jungle Boy have a chance to create a moment we will care about in the years to come?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I cannot believe what I saw on TV, guys. I saw Jungle Boy hit an elbow, hit the car, Hook trying to sell it for at least 5 minutes on the damn floor. I couldn't believe it. I thought I was watching Ringling Brothers and Barley Bailey Circus when I was a little kid. It reminded me exactly like that. It's silly. The guy cannot act for crap. I'm sorry I didn't buy that line right there. Freeze it right there. It was just horrible just hearing him speak. My gosh, they destroyed Hook. You said it is bad booking. And Jesus, is it me or Jungle Boy just truly is bad? Even when he's a heel, for God's sakes, they don't even have him outside. They have him in the car. Hey, listen, just stay in the car, say one line or two, and we're going to get you out of there because you absolutely cannot cut a promo. And we gave you all the opportunity. I don't want to hear Savage or anybody here saying, oh, but you didn't have the opportunity and everything.
Well, here's the sad thing. All that's going to happen.
The kitchen sink throw to them. For Jesus Christ, this was the pillar, right? Am I right, guys? AEW pillar, Jungle Boy, Jack Perry.
Yeah,
he
supposedly.
had everything thrown to him. Hook as well. And what happened? This.
Well, I still think no matter how bad the booking is, these two kids are still going to put on a good match. I don't take that away from them.
Hook can't throw a punch. He can't throw a punch. Nobody saw last week, or I'm just crazy, or maybe I'm just notorious. I don't know.
Jay's being harsh
Did anybody
tonight.
see a punch? He can't throw
I don't know. I'm not going to shit on that kid that bad yet. I got to watch the match between them before I give him the final judgment. Don Callis, though, is going to have a little interview with Renee over here. Not much to talk about there, but then we're going to get into this. And I'll go to you first, Stanley, because I know you said you love MJF. He's the guy that does a few. These guys had a fantastic vignette again tonight showing them connect. MJF again went over the top. He had the 4 ladies. He invited them to the bathroom and or the banya, as it's funny because in Greek that you say banya, the same thing. And they agree to go in. He comes out. He zips up his pants. And then Adam Cole takes him to his place so they can play video games. And MJF breaks down and basically he's like, oh, this is kind of fun. And, basically admits to Adam Cole that he doesn't really have any friends to play video games with, so he doesn't know about multiplayer. So Adam Cole, of course, gets a little emotionally invested. I like it. I thought it was great. They even showed look at this. Future AEW champs, at least in AEW Fight Forever. So 2 questions for you. What do you think about this whole storyline? Where do you think it's going? And, of course, do you own AEW Fight Forever?
Well, I do not own AEW Fight Forever because I don't have a gaming console right now. But, I love this storyline that's going on. One thing I know for sure I'm a fan of in pro wrestling is character development and storylines and storytelling. Great storytelling. And I think that they're in, and I just like comedy segments. So MJF is just showing his ability to have a personality, and Adam Cole is bringing some of that out as well when in his segments with MJF. So I think that the both of them are kind of having this partnership. It's like the odd couple, so to speak. We'll just see where it goes, but I kind of see MJF kind of turning on Adam Cole at some point.
Yeah, probably. But I like that it's a little realistic, too, because he's a gamer. MJF's a player. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of comedy blended with real life.
Yeah,
Jay,
works.
How did you like it, man?
Well, I said last week's was pure trash, and this is no different. But,
wow.
Wait, hold
this
on.
Is great
There's a but. But it is an upgrade from last week, so I'll give him a little, B for effort. I'm not going to give him the A. Just Stanley has touched on what he touched last, saying, MJF is basically going to cross him. And we all know that's going to happen. And all of this is just telling me MJF's all over the place, being silly. I mean, I get it, but how much can we take?
Oh, I don't know.
First of
Travis,
all,
how about you?
Jay is wrong. Last week wasn't garbage. This week wasn't garbage. For all of his comments of, here comes Meltzer, Travis, you're like the anti-Meltzer. You would give everything 0 stars. But regardless of that, it had me smiling from ear to ear with just how good it was, how well it was delivered. See, he's laughing, but the thing is, he knows his takes are absolute shit. So, anyways, I thought it was particularly great the way MJF delivered some of the stuff. I thought it was great when he was like, that's 2 girls for each of us. He was like, let's go back then. And he's like, no, I like Britt. Okay, then that's 4 girls for me. Like, that was well delivered. And Jay just does not like anything. He hates everything. So I don't really care.
Well, he might hate everything, but I'll tell you who hates MJF, and that's Tony Schiavone, who made a stupid comment saying, I'll never get those 4 minutes back in my life. Let me tell you something, Tony. What those guys just did tonight in those 4 minutes was more entertaining than anything you've done in your 40-year career.
That is correct.
I got nothing to say about this commentary. It's horrible from beginning to end.
Yeah, well, whatever. I don't know. Whatever.
It just seems to be a recurring theme in wrestling.
We're getting to the next match. Stanley, did you catch this match?
I saw a little bit of it. I liked it. It was really good.
It was a really good match. Daniel Garcia, I loved the way his moments. These guys actually had some good moments, and the right people won this match. Swerve showed up big time tonight, all around in his match and here. He's the reason why Orange Darby or Darby Orange, whatever you're calling them, lost.
Garbage.
Which I'm happy about it because we don't need to see them with the tag team championships.
I freaking told you so. I told you Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara were going to win, and it was going to be because of shenanigans, and I 100% called this one.
I'm happy for you, Travis. I'm glad that you called it. You saw it. I'm not surprised by it. Daniel Garcia.
I'm happy for myself. So
first of all, Sammy Guevara was just in a match for the World Championship. This guy's not like mincemeat. And Daniel Garcia was main eventing AEW Dynamite more than Jon Moxley was last year. Let's not forget that. True story.
And without
numbers don't lie.
Every 5 seconds.
He main evented Dynamite last year like 28 times. That's more than half the year. Garcia. Dragon Slayer Garcia. Do you like Garcia? You're a fan of Garcia, Stanley?
Now? Isn't it Red Death or something like that?
Yeah. He doesn't like his dancing. All right. Anyway, Swerve getting involved. Well, he got involved after this. First, we had King Nana over here getting the skateboard. Refs like trying to get it out of there. Swerve would come in, catch the kick. Sammy would catch the finish. And there are your new... they're advancing in the tournament. And they're basically going to take on MJF and Adam Cole next week. Because we know MJF and Adam Cole aren't losing the match to Brian Cage. No. We know that already. And you know,
I disagree with Jay. I still think that MJF and Adam Cole are winning this whole thing and may even win the titles so that MJF can go, see, I gave you this title, so now you don't need to come after my world championship.
Yeah, 100%.
But that's because Jay doesn't like storytelling. He's probably the kind of guy who watches Star Wars and goes, the story was garbage.
All right. We're going to get into Nick Wayne right now, making his debut. I first found out about this guy from Busted Open. He was on the show. They had a long conversation about him, his father, his training, him getting signed by Darby Allin. He has quite the inspirational story, and he has been doing this almost his entire life. Practically born in a wrestling ring in his backyard. And you know what? He had his match tonight. Here's Adam Cole, and we'll get back to Roderick. I don't even want to talk about Roderick. Why is Roderick even on TV with a neck brace? I feel so bad for him. He just had the shittiest run in WWE with NXT and the Diamond Mine, and he looked depressed to be there. And now we see him come to AEW, and he's just right back to being, depressed because MJF is stealing his friend away from him. I don't know. I'm not happy about poor Roderick Strong. He looks sad.
I'm starting to think that other than Ring of Honor, nobody knows how to book Roderick.
We're going to talk about Nick Wayne. We're going to get back to Nick Wayne because he's going to have his match with Swerve later in the night. But right now, we're going to get into MJF and Adam Cole and their match with Big Bill and Brian Cage, the Machine, and MJF doing his best to run around, antics, the body slam. I mean, this was like a gimmick match of gimmick matches. He was trying his best to just be that small man, play character, and then build up the house of heat for Adam Cole to come in and do the job. The only reason I even like this match, to be honest, is because Big Bill deserves TV time. So he got some TV time. I was happy about that. Jay, I'll go to you first. What was your thoughts on this match?
I kind of broke it down. I didn't think the match was bad, but I didn't like the whole goofiness of the match with the push-ups and all that. I'm sorry, I'm not interested, especially when MJF was trying to body slam him. That's not my style. I found it weird that Prince Nana came out. I was like, what the hell's going on? But it made sense when Swerve did that cheap finish. So another thing why I didn't like the match, it was just a cheap finish setting up for, I guess, a showdown later on. Who knows? It speaks a lot of volume about Sammy Guevara, guys. I mean, when he comes out, he doesn't get a pop. He's teasing us this baby face sort of run that he's going to have. But let's face it, I always say he's better as a heel than a face. And I don't really think the crowd's behind him, and either am I, but I think management is very high on Cassidy and Darby Allin. I mean, look how they lost. They've been protected because they're interference. So what does that tell you? They're really strong and protected. So
like 20 minutes behind.
Some good things going on here. Some good things, but, not a match for me. I'm sorry.
So no, you're not happy. Stanley, did you catch this match? Would you give it a thumbs up?
I did. I would give it a thumbs up. Just further develops the story between MJF and Adam Cole, and they cut a great promo after the match. So we'll see what happens in I believe it's the semifinal match.
No, now they're in the finals. Now
they take finals.
on
okay.
they take on oh my god, Sammy and
Daniel
Garcia. So many wrestlers in AEW. They have so many different storylines. Hey, that dance is
I'll say this. It'd be interesting to see if they both become the AEW Tag Team Champions.
It's a big possibility, man, because they're going to sell these shirts. They're going to sell toys. They're going to sell them. It's not impossible, man. and
No.
it's MJF. And tonight, Adam Cole showed that he's willing to cheat. He did that eye poke thing. He's starting to get on the same page
Oh my God.
as MJF.
The guy who spent his entire career being willing to cheat to win was willing to cheat. I am shocked.
Well, in AEW, he hasn't had that kind of character, really.
No, when he first came in, he was willing to too.
For like 2 weeks.
Before he got injured. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that
Thanks a lot,
concussion
Okada.
changed him. Yeah, I blame Okada. We can all blame Okada. All right, Travis, your thumbs up on the match? Let's just
the
keep
Adam
moving.
Cole and MJF one.
Yeah,
Yes,
if-
thumbs up.
Thumbs up. All right, we'll keep
And not
moving.
only just because, I agree with everything you said, and honestly, I even say Brian Cage deserves better treatment than he gets. Like,
No, 100%. Brian, listen, in a real fight, like when I put up the screenshot of all these guys in the ring right now, okay, and you look at her, are you kidding me right now? Well, let me get one of these screenshots where it's like, look how big these guys are. I mean, look at this. That's a joke. I mean, that's a joke, right?
because Adam Cole and what's his name? Adam Cole and MJF are not small people. I think I read the other day. Like,
Look at this.
Adam
He's carries
Cole-
walking around with him. This guy's a beast. Of course he's a beast, man. We know he's a beast. You know who else is a beast and he doesn't get treated properly? This guy, because he beats up people in real fights. MMA, undefeated. He left that behind so he could help Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho called him. He came running. But you know what? He can't do it anymore until Jericho can be straight with him about this whole Don Callis business. He hands him back the hat. Says he can't. He just can't do it. All right, boys. Quick question.
Weird,
Yes or
'cause
no
we don't
panel?
like that hat.
Yes or no panel? Does Chris
I-
Jericho take Jake Hager with him, or is this the end of the hat era?
And
It could be the end.
Do you like that hat?
It's a nice looking hat.
I love that hat. I have a video with him on YouTube telling everyone at Philadelphia very loudly that I loved his effing hat. A lot of people got very upset that I cursed. It was
Delete
very
it.
loud.
Delete it. Delete it.
Delete it? All right, Jay's not a fan of it. He wants to keep it moving. All right, you're not a fan of it. I get it. All right. Coming up on Dynamite, Ruby Soho taking on Sky Blue.
It's worse.
you could just
And
hear Jay fall over
Ruby
there.
Soho would have some help, but not for long because they would get kicked out. Then the match would get a little more serious. Sky Blue coming close a few times, but at the end of the day, Ruby Soho coming out on top, trying to break her leg over there. She ends up grabbing onto the rope. They keep on fighting. And that's it. That match is a wrap. Ruby hits her finish. 1, 2, 3. And she is moving on in the Owen Hart Invitational. I will make this an open panel. You three gentlemen, whoever wants to go first, if you have anything to say about that match.
I thought it
I'll
was-
say it this way: you could
Travis, you
hear.
can't beat him.
you-
He's that guy at Jeopardy who's hitting the buzzer.
There's a reason I was on Family Feud.
Oh,
Anyway,
you really were on Family Feud? No fucking way. I need to see that episode immediately. Why didn't you ever tell us that?
I don't know that they ever aired that episode. It might have been one of those dark
All
ones.
right. Yeah, you were sleeping. It was in your fucking dreams.
Anyways, no, my dreams are not that entertaining. Anyways, you could hear it. Jay was like, "Oh dear God, this." Same thing. I feel the same way. Honestly, I don't think Sky Blue is getting any better. I don't think she's improving. And I think that this Outcast thing is played out. Like, we get it. They cheat every freaking match to the point where I'm starting to be like, can Ruby Soho even win a match on her own? That's something I need addressed now. And I shouldn't have to be questioning that about Ruby Soho because the answer should be obviously, yes, she can win a match on her own.
Stanley, what you got?
I thought it was a pretty good match. I'm a fan of the Outcast personally. I think they're probably the best thing about the AEW women's division. And I'd like to see them bring in some women's tag team championships so Saraya and Toni Storm can hold the tag belts. Or Ruby and Saraya hold the tag belts.
So you want to just see the Outcast draped in gold, basically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like that. Kind of like how I feel about the Judgment Day. They should be draped in gold.
Definitely.
Jay, what was your take on the Outcast and Ruby Soho advancing?
First of all, I don't even know what I'm watching here. I'm watching, Ruby Soho, like Stanley said, great things. I agree. Outcast is great, but what am I watching here? Sky Blue made it this far. This girl couldn't even throw a punch tonight. I think it's worse than Takeshita. Like, seriously, look at it. We played the replay, but let's face it, why would we put her so far into this tournament when I've been telling you guys, not only she's rough in the ring, she's green, but there's no character development on Sky Blue. I can't buy a Sky Blue. We've seen her interfere with Britt and what's her name? I forgot their name, but the other woman champ before. We've seen him interfere. There you go. We've seen him interfere before. And what did that do for us? Nothing. And I don't understand why you would put it for Swat. I thought this was a major failure on the character. Let's face it. And I can't buy her no more. I'm sorry, guys. I can't do it. Can't do it.
All right. That's great. You can't buy her anymore, but you know what? You weren't buying her to begin with. So shut your ass up and let's get to moving.
First of all, she can't
shut your ass. You ain't spending any money on any of these people that you're shitting on.
There is an interview. There is an interview that she did. And she told her read this promo, and she couldn't read the promo and read it well. You can't read. Look it up.
Stanley, true story. I've power bombed this man at least 20 times in the last 20 years.
Oh, no.
Over tables, on chairs. This kid, one time, he bounced off the floor and went flying into a chair.
Everything. I love Sky Blue. Sky Blue's great. Oh, God. Come on.
I owe Jay a few chops. Here's a look at the bracket, though. Ruby Soho, and she's going to take on the winner between Willow Nightingale and Athena. So I think we're going to end up getting Ruby Soho versus Athena. That's a tough call because I love Athena. I would love to see Athena win, but I just see Ruby Soho getting retribution for her loss last year against Britt Baker. That's the way I see it. Ruby Soho coming on top. That's my call. They also give us a peek of last week Collision. Tony, what's his name? I was going to call him Tony Starks. Ricky Starks over here with his Botchamania win of the night against Hobbs. Okay. But I got to get into this. Did you see this, Stanley?
I did see it, yes.
Please tell me what you thought about Harley, what's her name? Harley Cameron?
Harley Cameron, yes.
Harley Cameron and her sexy rap video.
Hey, it's impressive. I mean, not everybody can rap like that, you know.
Good point.
She, sex sells,
The question is, can she do that live or only in a studio? That's the question.
Who knows?
Jay?
The question is, can we play this music video in the best music city in Tennessee? I'll answer that, guys.
So, Jay, you don't think this is going to be number one on the Billboard by tomorrow morning?
I think she's very talented, and she's a better rapper than Max Caster. But
damn,
what's the point of this? What's the actual point?
Actually, I'm going to blow you up. Can you say that again so I can send that to Max?
Oh, she's better than Max Caster for sure.
No, say this is Jay from Wrestling with Savage, and I think Harley Cameron is a way better rapper than Platinum Max Caster.
This is Jay, Wrestling with Savage, and I think Harley Cameron is a better rapper than Max Caster. I'm going to say it right now.
I agree.
And Max, you got to step it up. If you a rapper, step up your game, homie. What? She just killed you. She did a twist on you. She did a twister. She rapped.
Travis, do you agree with Jay? Do you think she killed Max Caster?
Oh, absolutely. But I thought Max Caster was crap from day one. His rhymes are just again.
Right, first of all, I'm going to remove you from the stream. He's fired. Listen, guys.
That was hard.
Max Caster. There's a difference between Max Caster and Harley Quinn as of right now, and I'll bring Travis back in. All right, I'll hire you again.
Cameron. It's not Harley Quinn. You've done that 4 times.
I don't care. I'm going to call her Harley Quinn. I like calling her Harley Quinn. I like saying Harley Quinn. What do you want from me? Harley Cameron over there. She's not doing it live. Max Caster's been doing all his stuff live. He comes out. Sometimes he rips it. Sometimes he doesn't. But he's still going live. So
I'll tell you this. If Max Caster was to come up with a rap song, we will not play in WHIN. Period.
All right, calm your ass down, man. You're getting too excited. Now let's get into the match of the night. Nick Wayne, Swerve Strickland, and this was, no doubt about it, the match of the night. Nick Wayne making his debut on AEW. Hey, I thought it was the match of the night. The kid busted his ass. He took some crazy bumps. He did some unique spots. He showed some innovative offense. He was very smooth in his transitions into moves, into cutters, the kicks, the shots he took. He took a lot of punishment. And it was his debut, live TV. He's only 18 years old, man. Is he even 18? I think he just turned 18. He's fresh. Fresh! On national television. Having a match against a certified superstar in Swerve Strickland. We know, and Swerve's not a joke. Swerve is someone that can be taken seriously as a championship contender. And the right results happened. Swerve got the win, but he got the win with, a bunch of cheap shots and dirty tricks and nastiness. And, he had to pull out his vicious side to put away this kid. So he made the kid look incredible. Great debut. I don't think you can ask more out of a debut match for somebody.
No,
That's
especially
No,
not.
certainly not.
All right, Stanley, I'm going to you first. What was your opinion on this kid's debut match?
I mean, really good. He showed what he gave it all he had out there. It's not everybody can say, they had a debut match on live TV and, it was good.
And it was good, yeah. A lot of people can say they had a match on TV, but not a lot of them can say it was good. Jay, what did you think about the debut?
I'm going to start off by saying, Hook, you should be disappointed because this guy didn't have a dad and you had your whole life and you still can't throw a punch. With that being said, I didn't really think it was hold on, let me see. It's a strong debut, but I don't think the match was very clean. I seen what this kid could do in GCW with his partner Jordan Oliver. They were tag champs there. I see him fight Swerve in the 5 before many times, so this was no surprise why Swerve was the first person. But I thought a lot of things weren't clean, like that move right there. It wasn't so clean, but it was nice. Like I said, people out there that are been doing this their whole life and, should be ashamed of yourself. This kid's 18 and he's doing stuff that we haven't, seen. But let's face it, the bigger story here is not Nick Wayne. The biggest story here is the whole story. I think they did a terrific package from day one. Tonight was beautiful as well. And if you're really going to make this kid strong, which I think they will, I think it was just nerves from him tonight. I think that's what it really was because he's not really bad. But if you're going to make him strong, I would do more videos. Now we'll have him fight Swerve again, and I think he will get a bigger reaction and a bigger pop when he gets that first win against him. I think they should do it like that. I think that would be a great story to set up.
He has a good look.
But a couple things weren't clean, and I seen him do a lot better. So I think it was just nerves.
I have too. I looked up his matches after I found out who he was.
It was a strong debut. Strong debut.
Yeah, in my opinion, it was a real strong debut. Travis, you agree? Thumbs up on the debut?
Thumbs up on the debut. I'll put it this simple. His match tonight was better than any Ricky Starks match I've seen in his entire career. So I say that the young man has a bright future. And to answer your question, Savage, he turned 18 literally 2 days ago. So for a kid who's just turned 18, I feel like this was a pretty good debut. And especially since he went from GCW to this. Now, and I'm not trying to knock on GCW, but GCW's crowd is maybe 100, 110. This is 1,000 to 2,000 people. That's a big step up.
2,000 people?
Huh?
You think tonight was 2,000 people?
No, it's probably way more. I was just giving a point of it's like almost 10 times what a GCW would be, probably.
Yeah, GCW is probably like 150, 175 at times.
If I were to give the kid advice, I would just do less of the big spots because he doesn't need it. You know what I'm saying? Because GCW, you do those big spots, but here you don't really need to. And that power bomb kind of scared me how he landed, I kind of thought about Cassidy knocked out.
He should try to find a way to make all the old moves just look a little new. That's all he's got to do because he's got the speed. He's got the style. If he can find a way to put his own personal twist on every single old school kind of move, like make an armbar just look sexy.
I think a lot of people that came into the business, like, Hook, should be really ashamed of yourself because, look.
Well, Hook has a different story. Everybody has a different path. Not everybody has the same path to AEW.
Can I just say this? watching the match and seeing how good Swerve is, I'm now already going to pitch this. Tony Khan, if you're in here, which we know sometimes AEW does watch, listen to me here, okay? Book this. Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay.
This guy, he's going off the rails again.
Man.
That's what he does,
Of course,
Stanley.
you're gonna drop the name.
That was the
Travis off the rails over here.
That was
Thinking
the end
Tony
of it,
Khan's
and
going to
first
listen
of all-
to him tonight.
You know what? No,
Tony
I'm not
Khan's
doing this.
scratching his ass right now.
I'm not doing this. Good booking idea. I don't care what y'all say.
It is a good booking
Best
idea.
workers.
Listen, it would be a great match, but it's not going to happen.
No, but they're both two of the best workers right now.
I love Swerve right now. He's been stepping up this year. Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite reveal their 5th men for the Blood and Guts match, and that's coming up right now. I was speculating, but Don Callis comes out, and then, of course, Kenny Omega would come out. He'd have to fight through some security, and then he would get attacked by the 5th member, and that's Pac. Pac making his return, making it known that he is back. He's pissed off at Kenny for breaking his nose.
Hey.
It's time for revenge. And he goes to hit his beautiful finish, but that never happens because they put a mic in Kenny. See, then this doesn't make any sense to me. You're about to kill this guy. Why would you even put a mic in his mouth so he can tell you? But our 5th member is here, and go ahead, Travis. I'll let you, go ahead. You're a New Japan guy, so why don't you go ahead and relieve yourself all over the TV screen as you let us know your excitement about having the golden one here.
First of all, this is a family-friendly show, Savage. Oh, no, wait. No, it's not. Never mind. Anyways, Kota Ibushi. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy who's honestly one of New Japan Pro Wrestling's best. Him and Kenny used to be a tag team for years, so this makes sense. He's interesting to me always because he's got a little bit of, like, technical and a little bit of high flying, which is not a combination you see all that often. But I think that this is a good pick. I think that it's going to be a good match. I think that Pac for Blood and Guts makes a lot of, for Blood and Guts and for the Elite makes a lot of sense because, I mean, Pac and Kenny have a really long history with each other. I think all around good decisions, and I think that this going with Pac for the Elite or the Don Callis family, Blackpool Combat Club, I think this is a better decision than Jericho because I think they need to take their time with Jericho. If they had gone, oh, Jericho's the 5th member, I feel like the whole won't he join thing, that would have ruined the story right there.
All right, Stanley, the main event for next week. Are you excited about it? Are you happy with the 2 people that are chosen?
Yeah, the thing about wrestling that I actually saw an article today or a post on Facebook actually that basically said wrestling is kind of in a boom period right now. It may not necessarily be like the Attitude Era-esque boom, but a boom period nonetheless because you got WWE, you've got AEW, you've got Impact, you've got NWA, you've got all these different promotions, and it's more accessible now than it used to be. So you can watch more wrestling on television, and it's around, So,
it's cheaper than it used to be. The pay-per-views used to be $60.
Yes, so more wrestling for all the fans to enjoy and be happy, because I think that's what we want at the end of the day is for all fans to be happy and satisfied with whatever, products are out there and to enjoy them,
I agree with that. Jay, what was your take on this final main event of the night, if you would call it that? Of course, we didn't mention this. The Young Bucks did come out, and Hangman had his buckshot double clothesline spot. Jay loved that shit.
How do I start this off?
I don't know, man.
Let's see. I'm going to start off with Kota. I think the problem with AEW and what they do really bad is they have a bad way of introducing New Japan stars such as Kota, because this guy was a former champion. Travis could count me on that. And he is really talented. And the way you do this is a brief video. You know why it was brief, guys? You know why it was brief, Travis, Savage, everybody here watching, Stanley, the whole world? You know why it was brief? Because AEW does something every single week. And you know what they do? They rush. And this segment was rushed because of a lot of the things we saw that took a lot of time tonight. And it's the damn thing that they got to stop, but they can't stop. And this is what we get. And Pac, I don't mind. I get it. But I don't like it personally for my taste. That's just me.
So you don't like it? You're not a fan of it? All right.
I get it. I get why.
I know why this happened because I already heard the rumors, man. They're working on getting a new DLC for Fight Forever. And he is a guy that sells merch. He will be one of the first characters that's available from the New Japan roster, and they're gonna sell. They're gonna sell him for $4.99. $4.99 to play as him. $4.99 to play as Matt Hardy.
Is just introducing New Japan stars very
money,
badly.
man.
Now,
he's money, Jay. It's about money.
What they have to do in order to get this is to put more videos out of Coda. I want to see more on Rampage. I want to see more on Collision. I want to see more on Dynamite.
What I want to see is this be a full-time transition. I want to see him, if they're bringing him, don't bring him just for one fucking match. Bring him full-time because he's the real deal. I love that.
Oh, he is. I mean, right now, Kota Ibushi,
I want him full-time.
Right now, Kota Ibushi is a free agent. My belief is if they're going to show him in AEW, they've probably reached a deal. And as soon as he debuts next week, they're going to we're going to get, before the end of that night, we're going to get a Ibushi is all elite.
This video did nothing. It's too short because the thing was so rushed. That's the problem. Everything goes over time. It's not just me, guys. I mean, you can go play this back if you want. But a lot of things.
Everybody goes overtime. I go overtime. You go overtime. Travis certainly goes overtime.
MJF and Adam Cole match. That match took time.
True. It's damn true.
It took time. It didn't need to take that much.
Kurt Angle reference.
Yeah, damn true. Kurt Angle the other day, beautiful prank on his wife. He was messing around. He was doing something weird with the spaghetti. He pissed off his wife because he kept talking about his gold medals and winning them with a freaking broken neck. So shout out to Kurt Angle, who, by the way, will probably be the first guest on the Marty podcast that we're doing.
Shout out to
Congratulations.
Mick Thompson. I'm going to see my dad speak my truth, damn it.
I can't wait for that Party with Marty podcast to kick off. It's going to get wild. But in the meantime, everybody go follow. I'm going to drop the links in the description of this video later tonight. So you'll be able to go back and follow this kid everywhere. Follow him today, Wrestling with Heart. And tonight, you were watching AEW Dynamite. Tomorrow night, Travis over here is going to help you cover Impact Wrestling. He's probably going to do it by his damn self. Maybe I'll start watching Impact. I don't know. Stanley, do you watch Impact?
I've seen clips on YouTube. They've got a good product.
There it is. There's the correct answer.
Well, the thing is you know, with the advent of the internet now, you can go online and just find whatever promotion you want and just find all the bits and pieces in case you miss it, because you know people aren't always watching the shows in real time anymore. You know, they some do, a lot do, but they're out and about.
Many watch it in real time. There's that many more that don't, and they watch it the next day. They DVR.
Yeah, they time shift.
Like you, they're on TikTok, and you can find out everything that happened in Raw with a couple of swipes.
You know what? As the guy who's covering Impact, let me just say this: you ain't missing nothing. It was last week was so bad. I was like, this was an all-time low for Impact.
If I come on tomorrow night, I'm definitely playing AEW Fight Forever the whole damn time I'm there.
Oh, I am too.
The whole damn time. Also, Friday night, we're bringing you SmackDown. I'll be there because I have to know what's going to happen with this damn Bloodline story. They got me. I don't know how they got me, but I finally care. I need to know what's going to happen.
Good.
Find out live along with us Friday night. Saturday, I will be doing the live Collision watch along with Travis. Anybody else feel like joining in, feel free. Let's see what's going to happen. There's a lot going on. Saturday night, there's also going to be Battle of the Belts. I don't think I'm staying up for that one, though. Stanley, you got a prediction on this match?
Ooh, I'm going to have to probably go with FTR retaining.
Okay, good solid call. Travis, you got a pick, final pick of the week?
Jay White and Juice Robinson.
Jay?
FTR.
I'm going with FTR as well. I am going with Ricky Starks here. Travis, where are you going?
I'm going with hopefully both get a contusion and probably Ricky Starks. I don't think he'll do anything for him, but I think Ricky Starks.
Stanley?
I'm going to have to go with Punk.
Going with Punk, going with a classic, going with the certified pick, right? That's the betting favorite right there. Definitely.
Got to go with Punk.
I agree with you. He's the betting favorite, but I'm going with Ricky just because I have a feeling Punk is trying to mend his relationship with the entire locker room. The people that are not happy with him. Maybe this will be a way of him slingshotting his relationship with a lot of people by putting over a Ricky Starks, putting over a younger talent. That's my take on it. I don't know.
You know what?
Jay?
Me.
I got Ricky Starks.
Me? Okay, so Jay's with me. We got two. We got
This
three,
tells
and
me-
Travis is with me.
This tells me, because you're saying he's gonna, maybe use him to repair the broken relationship. No, this is telling me Ricky Stark's time on the main roster is done. They see him as a collision guy from now on. You are not going to see him on Dynamite.
Well, we'll find out about that. I'm okay with that. Wrestling Universe, Queens, New York, August 19th. Before her appearance at Wrestle Bash, you can come on down and meet the Black Dahlia. She'll be hanging out with Alicia Fox. Savage will be there. We're going to have pizza. We're going to have cannolis, cupcakes. It's going to be a good time. Come on down. The Savage Kingdom staying very busy this year. WrestlingWithSavage.com is where you want to go if you want to keep up with all our latest upcoming events, including the Party with Marty podcast coming soon. Now, in Hamburg, Pennsylvania, September 16th, I will be with Jimmy Hart for 2 days. You're not going to want to miss this. There's a lot of legends there. Rob Van Dam's going to be there. And there's a rumor that Hulk Hogan's even coming in with Kevin Nash. So a lot going down right now. Haku and Black Dahlia at the Wrestle Bash. If you don't know who Haku is, then you are insane. If you are even an average wrestling fan, then chances are you've heard some of your favorite wrestlers legitimately tell you about Haku being the baddest man in the business, pound for pound, can beat up anybody. That's who Haku is, and I can't wait to spend the day with him at Wrestle Bash. Come on down, hang out, get a picture, get an autograph. Follow my cousin Cri Text, pick up his album, Justified Homicides. Apparently, it's not that new anymore, so I don't want to get blasted on that one. The Party with Marty podcast is coming soon. There will be a special preview show eventually. I'm compiling the footage. We're trying to put together something special for everybody that's going to basically make everybody talk about it. We want to make this podcast, and let me get it solo here. This Party with Marty podcast, we want to make it something that's so spectacular, so special, that people are going to listen to it that aren't even wrestling fans. Because the shit that we're going to talk about is everything. There is nothing that is off the table, from government to politics to professional wrestling. Stories that you've never heard before. Stories that will make you say, what the fuck? That's what's going to happen on the Party with Marty podcast. And don't you fucking forget it. Dark Side of the Ring, his episode, which, by the way, will be the most controversial episode in the history of Dark Side of the Ring, coming out August 7th or August 8th. I think it's August 7th or 8th. I don't remember exactly. But it's coming out, and I guarantee you everybody will be talking about Marty Jannetty the following morning. All those little podcasts, the Jim Cornettes, the Dave LaGreccas, the Tommy Dreamers, the Bully Rays, the House of Hardcore, they're all going to be talking about Party with Marty. That means they're going to be talking about Savage. So you're not going to want to miss the ride. Bolero, this Friday. Outlaw Wrestling. Normally they're at the Queen's Brewery every Thursday, every second Thursday of the month. But this month they have to move it. If you're in the New Jersey area, look them up. There's going to be a lot going on tomorrow night. And at the end of the month, Savage will be live from the battlefield for Edge of Greatness, featuring Matt Cardona versus KC Navarro. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the Premier Streaming Network, or even better, come on down to Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania. Watch it live. Stanley, if you want, anytime you want, you let me know, and you have tickets with your name on it, and I would be more than happy to offer you a like an internship kind of role, which would let you get behind the scenes at the pay-per-view all day long, and I'll put you ringside the whole night. You can take pictures, you can take videos, go absolute ape shit. Do interviews, do whatever you want. I'll give you access to if you want it. If you want Matt Cardona, I'll give him to you.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. I definitely
let me know. That's on the 30th.
Absolutely will. Sure.
Unfortunately, it's not near you. Where are you again?
I'm in Tennessee.
Oh shit. Oh wow. That means you eat good every day, don't you?
I try.
Good home cooked food. I gotta come to Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
Tennessee's been on my list.
Nashville, man.
You
Lots of stuff.
Elvis guy?
Elvis is cool.
He's the king.
He's definitely the king.
Travis is falling asleep.
No, I'm exact opposite. I don't like Elvis at all.
You're not an Elvis guy?
Nope. I recognize he's talented, and I think this is the reason. When I was growing up, My
This
parents
guy's out
had
of his mind.
my parents had one of two things on in the car: Elvis or the Beatles. I
Yeah,
got to
for a
where I
reason.
heard it so much that now I'm like, there's two things I will not listen to: Elvis and the Beatles.
You
Oh,
can't
man.
deny this, man. In my opinion, I don't think Jay will agree with me, but in my opinion, as far as a man goes, I don't think there's ever been a man on this planet who's had a better voice than Elvis Presley. Because think about the quality of his voice with the technology they had back then. They didn't have all these machines and synthesizers and bullshits to make even Britney Spears sound good. Man, while this guy is recording on literally like the shittiest recording device known to man, and still sounds like an angel basically when he sings.
I did watch the Elvis movie the other night, and
Yeah.
my God, the stuff Colonel Parker did to him, that shit was insane. I don't
Basically
know how
had
he
him
got away.
hostage, man. Meanwhile, Colonel Parker was down there gambling his life away, hookers, drugs, and
Wouldn't let him
making
do the
money.
movies he wanted to. Wouldn't let him do I don't know how he got away with all that shit. I
Because
really
he had him psychologically. He had him locked down, and he had a chance to get away. He was going to go leave the country to do the international tour, and then he found out that was going to happen. He's going to lose all his money, basically. He's going to lose the control of this man. He's not letting that happen.
Elvis felt some sense, and I'm not saying it wasn't.
Who do you think had him hooked on the painkillers?
Huh?
Who do you think had him hooked on the drugs?
Oh,
Who do you
absolutely.
think got him hooked to the drugs?
Absolutely.
It'll be all right, Elvis. Go upstairs, take some pills, sleep it off. Wake up tomorrow, do it all over again.
Did y'all watch I don't know if you watched it or not, but did you watch the one that was about, oh my God, why can I not remember the name?
First of all, there's a big possibility that Elvis never even fucking died. There's a big possibility that my man bought an island somewhere and just vanished.
what was the
Because
name
this
of the
guy
girl?
couldn't go. Stanley, I don't know if you knew this. Did you know that Elvis Presley had to rent out supermarket to do shopping? He couldn't
did
just
not
go to
know
a
that.
supermarket.
No.
He had to rent out the movie theater if he wanted to go watch a movie. He was not a normal person back then. Like, to be famous like that back then, you had to be on another level. There was no social media. There was no nothing. This guy
Right,
walked down any
right.
street in America and chaos.
What was the
Wow.
name of the girl who played Dorothy in Wizard of Oz?
Oh, Judy Garland.
Thank you, Judy Garland. They did a movie about her not too long ago, and in it they showed that she's auditioning for a role, and she's like,
It's
Mom,
very
I
delayed,
wanna-
but I'm going to do it anyway.
Mom, I want to get home, and I want to, I want to go to sleep. And she literally gives her a thing of pills, and she's like, just take as many you need until you don't feel tired. And it's like, are you kidding me? A mother told her, at this time, like 14-year-old daughter, hey, just start popping pills. I'm like, no wonder. Like, that's what drives me insane is people say things like, oh, parents have become such shitty things now. They were shit back then too. You just didn't have social media to go on and find out about it. And this, I'm prepping you, Savage, because this kind of shit, that's what we'll talk about with Marty.
Who's we? You're not talking to Marty.
I told you. You said you could be on the party with Marty.
I said you'll be able to come on once in a while. It's not going to
Okay.
be like all the time.
That's fine.
No, I can't be on the show. So.
Jay will piss off Marty. Marty will never call me again.
Hey, I'm a good journalist. I'm good at twisting.
I'll let you talk to Marty. You can all talk to Marty once in a while.
I'm more worried that Marty's going to tell a story, and I'm just going to be like, "Oh God,
Marty just wants his
Nah, we'll
podcast
control,
to
we'll
be
control.
something very specific.
We'll
He has
control him
an
like we
exact
control Elvis.
idea for it. I'm not even the host of the Marty Pod. I'm literally like the co-host. He's going to be hosting this shit. I'm going to be the co-host. I'm like the wingman who's there to like kind of keep the conversation flowing. Because Marty's got stories, man, and it takes literally one question to trigger an archive of information from this man.
Gotta go
Just
back
an
from the
icon,
beginning.
man. The Rockers and
Gotta go back.
breaking
I was
Snow.
hearing stories
Gotta
today.
go back, all that.
I was
I will
hearing
say
stories
this.
today. Dude, this guy, he used to take off. Let's say he'd be staying in the hotel with Al Snow and Kane. Okay? They're in one hotel together. He would go in the shower. Now, who does this? What kind of sick fuck does this? He'd go in the shower and remove the shower head and then fill it up with KY jelly. And then put it back on.
Sounds
So
like
that when
Marty.
these guys took showers, it was just like a disaster. Like they were just slimed.
Sounds like Marty.
Who does this kind of shit?
Marty
I guess he
Jannetty.
didn't have a hobby or something. After
You know what?
the
I'm gonna
match.
say this, and you
Fucking
if you
great.
wanna,
I don't know, man.
if you want to screen
you
capture
don't
this
have
or
a
whatever, you're welcome to. I will say this as a wrestling fan, going back watching Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, the famous barber scene one. I still to this day will tell you that may be the single greatest heel turn in the history of professional wrestling.
I can
Well,
agree
no,
with that.
listen, it's a moment they still talk about to this day, man. It's what he's known for. But Marty's one of the more criminally underrated professional performers that we've ever had in the business. He actually holds the record more so than the Iron Sheik for times being fired from the WWE. This is a guy who one time stole the party bus. Not the party bus, the tour bus. All the wrestlers are on the tour bus, and Marty took it and started driving and speeding down the highway. And Pat Patterson caught up to him with a taxi and fired his ass on the spot.
Dear Lord, this man sounds like between him and
Like, the
Conor
stories
McGregor,
I
he'd
can
be
tell
scared
you
to death.
are out of this world, man, but I'm trying to save. There's just too much, man. There really is too much. We're never going to have a dull moment on this show.
What was the point of all that?
Because he wanted to have a good time. He's partying, you know?
He
Rock and roll's the
wanted to
Rockers.
have. You hear this? He wanted to have a good time.
What we do need to do, though,
He did have a good time, baby. He's still
I'm
having
still
a good time.
campaigning
You don't
for it.
have
I
a
know you are
TV in your
Savage.
hotel, bro?
He's still
I know-
having a good time.
I know you are Savage. The Kingdom needs to get on it. Wrestling with Heart needs to get on it. Marty Jannetty is a man who needs to be recognized for his contributions and needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
That will happen with time. I'm not worried about that. Eventually, that will happen, and hopefully I'm right there next to him when it does. And that's...
I want to hear those AW
I'd be like, I know that dude.
Hey, man, I'm trying to work all the angles I can, and that's what my advice to you, Stanley. If you want to get into this wrestling business, make as many friends as you can, make some connections.
I'd love to.
And that's all it's about. You make the right connections, you meet the right people, and you never know what kind of opportunity will
Yeah.
present itself.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to ask the questions other people are too shy to. Don't be afraid to break down the door, because sometimes they're going to close the door in your face. You got to kick that shit open.
And remember something. Life lesson. Sometimes in life, you will be given a box and be told, fit this box together. Sometimes the box doesn't fit together at all. They're not testing you to see if you can figure out how to get the box to fit together. They're testing you to see if you're mature enough and responsible enough to say, I cannot do this. How does this work? I need help. Like, that to me,
Well,
I
if you
think,
work with WWE, you definitely want to show them that you're as coachable as possible. And this is the thing: you don't demean yourself until you're getting paid for it. So
No.
once you sign that contract, you're basically saying you're going to do whatever they say, and as long as you abide by that, you'll be good.
And you are.
Who cares if you have to look like a loser? I don't mind. I'll go look like a loser if they're paying me for it. They throw me off a fucking cage. Pay me. I'm okay with it.
That's how you want to go in? As a loser?
No, I don't. But I'm saying for the money, I'll take the money. I'll take the payday.
you look
Savage
too
will
good.
Am I drunk or am I just hearing all this?
Savage will take the payday, baby.
You
I'll
look
do
too
the job.
good. You look too good in a suit and glasses for you to go in as a
Well,
loser.
listen, I'm not going to just lose immediately. My
Oh,
character will eventually get beat up. Because that's the payoff.
Oh, I see you as more.
I
of a-
go in and be an asshole, make people hate me. They pray that I die.
People
They
are
pray
hating
that
you.
I get beat up, so that when I finally
They
do
are.
get my ass
People
kicked,
are hating you. You're stealing Dijak's gimmick right here. You have his shades on and everything. You need to give it back.
Back
Give
in-
it back.
Dijak doesn't wear a tie, all right? Doesn't wear a tie. All right?
Second,
And
it's not a
Dijak,
business suit.
Dijak does not have a video of the AEW World Champion telling him that he smells good. I'm sorry to tell you.
You smell nice. All right. Here we go.
I recorded that, by the way.
I do.
I recorded that. Thank you.
He did record that.
So,
Nice.
Savage.
Stanley's got to go to bed soon, guys. You guys are keeping him
Savage,
up past his. He's got
gotta
to go to
go.
work. What do you do for
Savage.
work?
So I actually work in radio. I work for a
You
community
mentioned
college.
that, yes.
Yes, I work for a community college radio station. I work as the operations assistant for them. I've been doing that for a few years, and I work part-time on the weekends for a radio station in the greater Nashville area.
That's awesome, man.
That's right.
Country music?
Pop.
Pop, okay. That's
So,
cool. So
you
you're
know-
in there, man. You're doing the thing.
Yeah, I want to be in the broadcasting business, whether it's radio or wrestling.
You're not
I'd love
from
to be.
Tennessee, right?
What?
Are you from Tennessee?
Yes, I grew
Oh.
up. I grew up in Maryland for a good part of my childhood, but I've lived in Nashville a good part of my life.
So let me ask you this: dream job scenario for WWE. What is it?
I would probably want to do commentating,
Commentary.
or be a backstage interviewer.
Backstage,
Those
okay.
would be good jobs for me. Definitely would love to be, just a commentator on one of the shows. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Do you not wear that like when you're out in Tennessee? Because from what I know of Tennessee people, you wear a Cubs jersey out or in public, you're probably gonna get killed for it.
Oh yeah, I've done a lot of traveling. I've got family in Chicago, so I've gone to some Cubs games and whatnot.
And he's still alive, so he obviously knows what he's doing.
Well, I just said he may not wear that out in public.
No.
in Tennessee.
No. We don't have a major league team here right now, but hey,
I'm sure you don't go cruising around looking for trouble in Chicago, though.
no.
Straight to the house, straight to the restaurant.
I stay clean.
Stay away from South Chicago.
Chicago gets wild, but there's a lot of cities, and I'm sure Nashville has some rough
Oh
neighborhoods.
God, yeah, man, you should. Yeah, man, I live in a small hick-ass town in Texas. Maybe I think what did I say? It was like 13,000 people.
He doesn't even know. He lives in the town where the Texas Chainsaw Massacre took place, and they're
Oh, wow.
slowly coming back.
It's not.
Wait,
but,
I want to ask something.
but regardless, the point I was going to make was people are insane there. We had a guy the other day at a high school football game. He goes, you can't tell my kid that he didn't
Going
make
off
that
the
pass.
rails.
He pulls out his gun and starts shooting in the air. And I'm like, dude, this is a freaking high school football game. You need to
Oh,
calm
man.
the hell down.
Jeez.
It's insane.
Jay?
What
What you
people
got?
get
I
so
got a
wound up
question.
in sports.
Sure.
If you want to be into commentary and into wrestling, and I know Savage, you got to put your name there. I get all that. But what do you really need besides that? You need the degree. What else you need? Like, how much experience do you need on the radio? How much of this you need? What else are we not saying that we're missing?
For what,
Oh.
to get a job with WWE?
No, I'm saying for Stanley because he wants to do commentating. He said he does radio things. So I'm like, what else? What are the other tools besides what Savage said and everybody else? What else you think you need? Because you had experience radio for some time, right?
Yeah, I've been doing it probably, probably 6-7 years. I mean, I still, radio's like the number one dream, but
Okay.
I definitely, on the side, definitely love to do some wrestling stuff. But hey, if I ever got a job in a big company like that, I'd
Is
say
there a
in.
local station that you'd want to work for in Nashville, or do you have a specific radio station that you want to work for in another state, another country? Or
I'm open to anything, man. I just
do you
really
get
am.
yourself out there? Do you send your resume?
Yeah. I'm just out and about. I'm just out and about, trying to do my thing. And
'Cause I'll tell you this: these New York radio stations, man, they be shuffling DJs and people that host all the time, man. They're always looking for someone. You got a clean cut voice. Maybe you come out to the Big Apple, audition for. There's a lot of stations out here, man.
I'll check it out.
I don't know. Do you like New York? You ever been to New York?
I haven't really been through New York City. I was there when I was real little, but I think I've gone by there a couple of times. I hadn't really actually been in it, but I've always wanted to visit New York. It's beautiful from what I've seen on pictures and stuff.
Yeah, it depends which corner. It depends which
New
corner
York
you're
City?
looking at the time, or what time of the day it is. It could be
Right.
pretty, it could be ugly.
Not even
Yeah,
New York State.
But
It's everywhere.
I'm definitely down to do commentating for a wrestling promotion. I think that'd be really cool.
Have you
Yeah.
ever tried with any of the local wrestling promotions
Local.
by you?
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
sure there's a lot of them.
I haven't done any announcing, but I've definitely gone to several shows, local shows. Met some people,
Yeah,
and it's just amazing, You get to be there ringside just to get to see people go at it. You know, they sometimes will bring the legends out like Jerry Lawler. I've met him a few times.
I'm surprised you're not doing it because you know
put
we go to the
yourself
local
in a
show.
situation that you're going to succeed, man.
Why do I get cut off by you?
Let me give you
Always.
some solid
Every time
advice.
I say something, I get cut off.
Go for it, Jay, because you've done what I do, right? He's doing it.
I said when you go to the local shows and everything, you say you go to the local shows and everything. I'm surprised you're not doing it now because I would figure if I was a promoter or something at that show and I say, oh, Stanley, you do the radio thing, I will automatically use them, right? But we working each other. He wants to do our commentating. Hey, I'm gonna plug my show as well. I'm surprised.
I haven't gone to like TV tapings. I've gone to mostly just shows at like the whatever, you know, centers. You know, I haven't really seen. Now I've seen ring announcers there, so that would be something to just check out as well.
The best way to get into that game is, dress the part, put on a suit, show up to these shows, and when you get there, you go find the promoter, be like, hey,
definitely.
I would love to know, can I interview some of your guys tonight?
Sure.
Do you need some help on announcing tonight? Do you need some help with ring announcing tonight? I'm here. I'm ready to work. I want to show you what I can do. Don't expect to get paid, ever. As long as you go in with that attitude, then you start getting the reps. You start getting the reps, you meet different promoters, you get something on footage, you could show people, you build up a whole fucking collection of interviews and segments and put yourself a nice reel.
Demo reel.
Send that reel into NXT, you send it into WWE, you send it into Impact, you send it into New Japan, or you just send it to local promoters in Nashville or states that you're willing to go to. You set up the promotions. It's just like anything else. If you want it, Stanley, you got to visualize it, you got to go grab it. Me, I'm going to try to get hired by WWE or I'm going to die trying. It's that simple.
I would just send what I have now. What's the point? Well, so what? If they didn't like it, at least you sent it, right? Doesn't hurt to try.
Have fun. That's the most important thing, man. If you love this, you're having fun when you're doing it anyway.
Oh,
You go out there, you're talking to wrestlers. It seems like you have a big passion for it. Have a good time with it. Make a spectacle out of it.
I will. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. We go follow him. Thanks for
We'll
being
do
the
this.
pod.
We'll do this again sometime. Savage, I'll have you on my show.
Anytime, man. And listen, if you're bored one night and you want to talk NXT or Raw or Collision or you're home on a Saturday and you want to just talk wrestling, somebody's here. It's either me or Travis. I'd
be glad to. Thank you guys.
Happy 1 year anniversary on your stream, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Keep killing it. All right, Jay, Travis, thank you guys for joining me. Everybody have a good night. We will see you tomorrow for Impact. Travis will. Jay, you going to be here for Impact?
I'm gonna try my best.
That means no. All right, guys. We'll see you.
At least I do it.
Wrestling.
You know what? You know how?
I let him cut you off for a second.
You know how much I'm like, Jay, you should be on the show. If you need to be drunk to watch Impact, I completely understand.
So Jay, what's going on with this? I heard rumors that you're working with Tom in the fall to try to put together an interview for me. You want to interview me?
All I'm saying is, when I interview people, I know my shit. I already knew about Stanley and everything. This is what I do, guys. This is how I know.
So hold
about
on.
that.
If you were going to interview Savage,
radio and all that, because I'm just that.
If you were going to interview Savage, what would be your first question to Savage?
Well, you got to take it way back and everything. I don't know if I should start with so you were there when Hulk Hogan was there. I don't know if I should start there, but I think we got to start from the beginning. I think we got to start to your childhood and where you came from and how you were raised and what really got you active as a kid and how that led into wrestling. Now you gotta connect it.
Jay wants to connect the dots over here.
Yeah, you just don't be a little kid and be like, oh, I do wrestling moves outside, Mom. No, it doesn't work like that.
Hung Bucks.
I've been into other sports that transition into.
I mean, I don't know, man. The only thing I'll say is I don't know. There are countless stories of WWE superstars who were like, "Oh, I went to wrestling event and I loved it, and that's how I became a big one." I'm not saying that they aren't the outlier, but there's a decent number of them, and I think it's because, and a massive respect for this, like. Seth Rollins, I was watching an interview with him the other day, and he said, I always knew I was going to end up in WWE. Now, when it happened, I didn't know, but I knew that was going to happen because I knew I was good enough to be there. And I'm like, it sounds arrogant, but I'm like, but it's really not. It's not him boasting and going, I'm better than you and all that. It's him knowing his worth and knowing his value.
Well, I'm saying Savage has a big story. I'm part of half of it, so I know most of the good stuff and the other good stuff. But I would just say this. It's a very interesting thing that Tom brought up. And if he's willing to go with what he was saying, hey, man, I'm on board for it. And I think it'll be fun, you know? Everybody needs to know who you are.
I told
a lot of
him in the
people
chat,
know who you are. And they need to
I said, I am not setting up and organizing.
He has to. I'm not that good with that
for
computer
myself.
shit.
I'm not going to sit there and put together slides and
Travis could do the slides. Travis could do the slides.
Travis,
I'm not good with the computer.
I asked him to do slides for Raw. This guy sent me like 2 pictures.
I'm gonna fuck up the computer shit. So it's
I'm
either
still
Tom or
trying
Travis.
to learn it. My computer runs.
Travis, let me tell you something. If the day ever came that I just could like watch Raw and not have to worry about 100 slides, and then I could actually go back to typing up my paragraphs for each match.
We rock too, to be honest. Like I'm saying, I'm not doing the computer shit, but
I'm
you know,
trying, Savage. The
definitely
problem
take
is
a lot of things out of you.
my computer
Because
is
you're a PlayStation guy.
my computer is so old and busted that if I try and take a picture, like as he's doing a moonsault, it's gonna take the picture 2 minutes late, and it's gonna be fuzzy when it does. Like
Gianna, oh man,
He wants you to go get an apartment
In
with
the
Mick
words-
Thomason.
in the words of the Inner Circle,
I would love to see you and Mick Thomason living together. I think that could be a sitcom right there.
please,
Talk about the Odd Couple.
you'd
My
be
God.
more likely to get me to live with CM Punk.
we should have a few people.
You would
on
love
special-
living with CM Punk. Don't even fucking lie, man.
Hey,
You would
special
love it.
guest.
You're
I
such a
don't know.
liar. You're such a fucking liar. If you woke up tomorrow in that big ass mansion he lives in, all right, and you see his nerd apartment with all his comic books and arcades and video games and AJ Lee walking around in her bra and panties,
That
you would
part,
not.
that sold me.
You would not want to leave. You would
That
want
last
to move
part
in.
was what sold me to the point where I'd be like, man, if I get to see that every day, I'll put up with all his bullshit for it.
Says Mick looks like your little brother. I don't know about that. I don't think he looks like
No.
your little brother.
Nothing like it.
Let's look at Mick again.
Wrestlers. Oh my God.
I have to say this: if you shaved your beard, maybe.
I had somebody tell me today, they were like, you know what you look like? I was like, what? And I'm expecting something bad. And he goes, you look like a young Paul Giamatti. And I'm like, hey, you know what? Paul Giamatti is
He's an award-winning actor.
Yeah. And you know what? One of the best things I've ever heard in my life was my dad came back from a business conference, and Drew Carey was there with his wife, second wife, who was very attractive. And he said, one night I was talking to my wife, and I said, honey, you know, does it not bother you that I'm kind of short, overweight, and all this? And she goes, I'll tell you this. She goes, short, rich, talented, and funny can make up for a lot of short, fat, and ugly.
Mick Thomason says we didn't play his video enough tonight. Mick, why does this show have to be about you, Mick? Mick,
Because
why are
he
you?
thinks it's the Mick Thomason show.
He wants to be
Mick,
a
why-
special guest on the show.
Mick, why are you
No
so
problem.
selfish?
Wrestlers. Oh my God. Wrestlers.
I think it's time for a new video, man. That video's
Yeah,
wild.
Probably
put a
is
new
going to be
video.
honest.
Come on, man. It's summer.
Mick,
Put a summer video.
I want a new video.
I want a
New
video
video.
that's like, I don't
Ricky
know.
says to go play with yourself.
Is there a filter that can make his face like pixelated? Because that would help a lot.
Maybe, I don't know. It's possible. We can look
No, I'm
into
just
it.
playing. Mick knows that it comes from a place of. Well, no, it can't be love. I don't have a heart.
I'm definitely not watching Impact tomorrow, Jay. I can't do it.
I'm dreading watching Impact
You
tomorrow.
don't even watch it in the first place.
I'll have it on the side, but I'll play and fight.
I lost interest when Macklin was hurt. I lost
I feel
interest.
bad for Travis because he sits
I
there
will
for
say
2
this.
hours, and the stupid show gets views. We probably get more views than the actual Impact show. probably.
I'll say this. I don't know how this is possible because I'm like, man, I'm going to need a stiff drink to get through Impact, which is going to be very hard because I'm straight edge. So it's like, what do I do here? Except for just suffer through this.
Wait, okay. See, you're such a gimmick infringement over here. He sits here and talks all this shit about CM Punk, but he's straight edge.
CM Punk did not invent straight edge. That's been going on since the late 80s in Chicago.
Stop it. You learned about straight edge from CM Punk.
No,
Straight
actually,
Edge
I didn't.
Society.
Yes,
you did. Your brain has just blocked that part out because of your hatred.
No, I can actually tell you exactly who I learned about it from. It wasn't Lars Ulrich. It was. I went to an event.
Impact's gonna be fire, bro.
I went to a rock concert, and one of the guys there said he was it, and all this stuff, and he started talking, and I remembered thinking at the time, I was like, that's pretty much what I do anyways. Like, why can't I just start calling itself that? And but then I remember thinking, I was like, do I have to get all these tattoos? Because every single person who says they're straight edge has like 1 billion tattoos.
Savage Live here at the Battlefield tonight on the Premier Streaming Network. The superstars of the Battlefield are going to walk up this ramp, and they're going to get in this ring right here, and they're going to do what they do best, which is get in the ring and put on the best professional wrestling that you can. Now, Anthony, get your ass in here right now. Get your ass in this ring and clean down my suit, because I am the Savage. I am here at the Battlefield to bring you the news, to bring you the scoop, and to bring you the stories. News: Anthony Loves Wrestling is getting a whole new set of teeth. Shout out to Anthony. My man's getting brand new fucking teeth. I need to do the same. I want brand new teeth. They're not cheap.
I take care of my teeth, so I don't have to need one.
I just want new teeth, so this way I don't have to worry about cavities anymore. If I had to, I'd be like, put them all, give me the veneers, give me. This way you can go nuts and never have to worry about a damn cavity ever again. That's what these celebrities do. That's what The Rock did. Think The Rock has real teeth? That man's got diamonds in his mouth. The Rock. All right, a quick question for both of you before we end this show. Jay, in your opinion, what's the most memorable wrestling moment in the history of Madison Square Garden?
It has to be when Snuka jumped off the cage, right?
Okay.
I think that has to be the most. I mean, I don't go way back because I wasn't born at that level, but I'm going to say the Snuka.
I'll go. Let Travis go first. How about you, Travis? What do you think is the most memorable, famous, incredible wrestling moment in the history of Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of off the top of my head what all is Madison Square Garden. Like, I don't know. For me, it's hard for me to imagine a moment bigger than the whole Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant thing.
Well, that wasn't at Madison Square Garden. That was the Pontiac Silverdome.
Like I said, I don't know about Madison Square Garden. To me,
all right. Well, I'll tell you then, since you don't know. For me, it was the moment Hulkamania was born when Hulk Hogan defeated Iron Sheik at Madison Square Garden. And then after that, it has to be WrestleMania 1, which took place at Madison Square Garden. But Jay, great memory. That's definitely in the top 10 for me. Other two that I'll put randomly, no order. When Shawn Michaels won the Elimination Chamber match at Madison Square Garden at Survivor Series. And when Triple H made his comeback after being injured for 9 months was quite the memory that I'll never forget. I've still never to this day ever heard an ovation at MSG like the night Triple H came back. Not even for Stone Cold. Stone Cold didn't even get a pop like that.
Stunning McMahon over here.
Stone Cold Stunning McMahon was big time. Yeah, that kind of kicked off the Attitude Era. That was a big deal. Okay, just a quick question. All right, we got to get the fuck out of here because I got shit to do. It's getting late. Jay? Travis?
Well, hold on.
Here we go.
I'm surprised looking at this. So, reading a lot of this stuff that Madison Square Garden, for me, personal moment, I'm going to actually have to say that was where they introduced the Elimination Chamber. And to this day, every time they bring that Elimination Chamber cage down, like a small part of me just cringes in the deepest part of my soul because I'm like, what kind of insane person agrees to be locked in anything this insane looking? Like one of my friends,
I'll
like,
tell
"Well,
you,
know,
somebody
the
who wants a
chains and all
nice
that."
payday. That's true.
I'm like, man, I'm worried. I'd be worried about just getting tetanus from the damn thing.
Oh my God, Travis, you're scared of everything. Stop it. Stop it.
That's not
Don't be
true. I'm
scared
not
of the
scared of
steel
Nick
cage.
Thomason or Gianna. Either one.
I would be scared of Gianna. He's pretty big.
I'm not scared of Gianna.
Well, because he's not there.
Well, because my shotgun will trump anything else that he can do.
What if he catches you at the supermarket though? You're gonna beat him up like Booker T beat up Stone Cold?
Can I just explain something to you here? This is Texas. We got our shotguns with us in the damn supermarket.
All right. Well, you heard it here first on Wrestling with Savage. Gianna, do not go to Texas. Everybody, have a good night. We'll be back here for Impact.
As a
Wrestling.
Texas boy, I can honestly say,
We
sucks
gotta
all
fire
weather
her.
is the
That's the only way
worst.
we can end this show. Only way we can end the show, Travis. You're fired. Travis is fired. Tomorrow night, Impact Wrestling. I might hire him back. I don't know. But we're out of here, God damn it. We're out of here, Travis. Nice.